All right, 3, 2, 1 now. Hey there! Oh, I need a microphone. Hey there, my name is Peter Hartman. You're watching Bad Guru Nightly, and I am Bad Guru. I totally forgot the order in which I was going to do this tonight. Gotta fix my collar. Thanks for hanging in there. How you doing? My goodness. Oh man, I had a totally kind of different show here planned for you today. I was in a totally different space. Um, doing a video clip. We're going to do a live stream with Tom Hartman talking about business in the year to come, talking about Bitcoin. So we were getting that all set up, and nobody can hear me. Test, test, one, one. Testing, 1, 2. Nobody can hear me. Test, test, test. Hello, hello. There we go. Hey there, my name is Peter Hartman. You're watching Bad Guru Nightly, and I am Bad Guru. This show is meant to serve as a reminder that your attention matters. What we give our attention to becomes a greater part of our experience. We shape our reality with the power of our attention. So it's important to be deliberate. And I'm so glad you decided to give me some of your attention here tonight. I had a totally different show planned for you tonight. I was going to be doing a segment with my brother Tom Hartman, web programmer and marketer extraordinaire. We were going to talk about business in the year to come, 2020, what to expect. We were talking about Bitcoin, but that didn't work out tonight. That didn't work out. Couldn't get the live feed to work because I am testing out a new computer, an M1 Mac, and it doesn't do the one thing. There's one thing it doesn't do that I needed to do, and it doesn't do that yet. So couldn't do that segment. We recorded that segment, and I will be broadcasting that tomorrow. Most likely tomorrow, or it'll be in the next episode of Bad Guru Nightly. You can watch it then. So we didn't lose it. It's just not live. So I'm doing something a little different. I got Samantha Barley in the chat room, producer, wonderful producer who's helping me here. She says she can't hear me. Hope she can hear me now. I think she can hear me now. I can see the mic working. I can see everything lighting up. It seems good to me. So Bad Guru will be doing some comedy, a little bit of comedy. You know, Bad Guru is a motivational comedian. You know, this is what he talks about comedy, he talks about motivation. You never really know what to expect. I never know what to expect. I'm sure he doesn't know what he expects. But he's going to be trying to make you laugh, trying to make you think, trying to make you feel inspired and motivated. One or all of those things, we'll see. That's going to be coming up later Samantha Barty saying she can hear me. Thank you so much for that. You can watch this show live, segments of it produced live on air all throughout the week. So you're going to want to go over to facebook.com/happy for a change and like and hit the bell so you know when I go live there. And or on youtube.com/happy for a change, subscribe and click the bell there so you know when I go live. I go live often. These days I go often. My computer issues are more or less solved, and going to be doing more and more broadcasts. Sometimes comedy, sometimes talking about life, business, motivation, politics. Who knows? Whatever it is I'm interested in, we're going to be talking about that and more. I want to get some guests on this show soon. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm so excited for the new year. All right. Well, I've taken in the new year. I've taken to writing my ideas down on a piece of paper. It just helps me to focus my mind and to, not lose my train of thought as much. So get used to seeing me with these. Today I want to talk about, okay, here we go. How was your day? Did you have a good day? A great day? A terrible day? A so-so day? I think it's good to check in at the end of your day and ask yourself, how did my day go? Right? How did I do? How did I feel? What did I think? What did I do that I could have done better? How could have I avoided some problems? Right? How could I have prepared myself for the day? How could things have gone better? And I think those things because today connects to tomorrow and the day after that. And so whatever I learned today, I can put into practice tomorrow. Right? So Elvira says that she had a sleepy day. A sleepy day. Well, that's good. A sleepy Wednesday. That's pretty good. Hump day. Hi, Elvira. Thanks for joining the chat. Joanne, how you doing? Good to see you. How was your day? How was everybody's day? I'm really curious. Hey, I should realize that I'm doing this live. I'm not recording a video. I was recording a video earlier, but I'm doing this live. So if you want to let me know how your day is, I'll be happy to hear about that. A sleepy day from Elvira. That's not a bad day. Sounds like a good day to me. A sleepy day. But it's important to reflect on your day. It's important to think about what happened, right? To just take a check. You don't got to do this huge analysis, a huge critical analysis. I'm not asking you to judge yourself. I'm not asking you to put yourself down. None of that matters, okay? However your day went, it went, right? If by the end of it, you're still alive, I think success, you did okay, all right? Because one of these days, there's no judgment on your day. You're just thinking about it. And those easy things that stand out. There's some easy things that stand out. There's something that was broken that you could easily fix. There's something that was missing that you could get replaced, right? There's an ingredient in your kitchen that you keep forgetting at the grocery store. You know what I mean? There's an item of clothing that you mean to wash or take to the dry cleaning. There's something that happened during your day, possibly, that you could just improve on tomorrow, that you can just make better tomorrow, right? I remember one day growing up, my mom, how many of us were in the house? We were 3, 4, 5 kids in the house, all different ages, old to young, or young to old. I mean, I guess it's the same. And we used to make a mess. We were 4 boys, 1 girl. The boys made a mess, dishes, food, everything. It's just terrible. And my mom used to be screaming and yelling all the time about the place, the kitchen is dirty, why is the sink full of dishes? The sink is full of dishes, the kitchen is just a mess. She comes home after a long day of work, and she got to cook some food and the kitchen's messy. I know now grown up that it really adds a lot to your day. It adds a lot to your cooking time if your kitchen ain't clean when you get home, when you're starting, right? And you got to wash all the dishes and clean. Look, I know some people, I won't name names, I know some people who, they don't mind making food inside of a dirty kitchen. They just work around their dirty dishes and they just work around their dirty counter. I'm like, oh, now I'm old enough. I remember my mom's lessons to go, wow, that's crazy. That's a nightmare. That just makes your life a whole lot harder. But when I was a kid, the sink was just filled, And one day my mom just decided, you know what? I've had enough. And she threw out all the dishes save for a dish a person. One person, one dish. This is your dish. All right? This is your plate. And if your plate ain't clean at dinner time, you got to clean that plate. Or you ain't eating. Right? Everybody gets one plate, one cup, one knife and fork, just one set of everything. And it was really annoying for me, going to the kitchen. I'm like, oh my God, I got to wash the dishes every single day. Yeah, somebody does. So she looked at her day and she said, you know what? F these children. I'm pretty sure she didn't say it that way. Pretty sure it felt that way. F these children, these ungrateful children. You know what? I'm going to make a change today to make my tomorrow better. I should check in with her and find out, if it made her life any better. I don't know how that ended. All I remember is as I continued living life, I remember thinking, you know what? One dish per person is a really good idea, especially when you start dealing with kids in the house and people are being messy. You're like, you know what? Why do I have 20 dishes? Why do I have 20 plates? Why do I have 20 plates? There's two of us that's eating here. Why do I have 20 plates? I don't need that. Anywho, not just two of us, but anyway. I hope you had a good day. I really do. I really hope it wasn't terrible. But take a moment to reflect on it and ask yourself how it went and see if you can find a way to improve it. I think Joanna's laughing at those children. I'm seeing guys' messages at a pretty heavy delay, so you'll forgive me. I'm glad that you're finding that funny. Parents know that, right? Parents know they don't just always love their kids. Come on. Come on. You know what? I get onto a plane. When we used to take planes. Remember? Back in the day. Can you imagine? You own an airline, okay, I'm not bagger. You own an airline and you own planes and you're going to parties and like, hey, what do you do for a living? Oh, I own a bunch of planes. I own an airport. Is that still prestigious now? Do you still go to those parties and people are like, oh, I own an airport, and people are like, oh, it's so sad. It's so sad, right? It's like back in the day, somebody comes to a party, you're like, oh, I own a Blockbuster. You're like, oh my God, come on, it's 2001. You own a Blockbuster? Are you kidding me? I don't know why I started talking about that. F those children, Joanne. You're right. If you want to participate in the chat, you can go over to facebook.com/happyforachange or youtube.com/happyforachange. Look, anywhere you see me, you chat, I'm going to see your messages. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. Why did I talk about airplanes? I was saying something about, oh, come on, somebody tell me. I was saying something about having something that was useless. That was good before, that was useless now. Remember, I used to go on a plane. I remember now. I used to go on a plane, and you see a kid, baby, and the baby's crying. The baby's crying on the plane. And I didn't let it bother me. I mean, my God, people get onto planes who are upset about children crying. What the hell, man? You got a mother, she's taking care of a child. What is she supposed to do about this? Kid's going to cry, right? Why let it bother you? But then I sit on a plane, and then as the hours go by and the kid is still crying, after a while, my patience just... I start out Gandhi, and I end sort of... I was trying to think of something clever there. Didn't think of anything. And I end sort of, just sort of like, not a good person, wishing harm on babies. Like, how does that happen? Why was I talking about that? Yeah, children, man, they're hard to deal with. And even me who likes children, and after a while, those children get so annoying. So yeah, after those children just went, God damn, wow. I'm going to need more of these things. I hope you had a great day. However your day went, don't worry about it. I want to tell you something. I want to tell you what I think about you. Is that okay? I want to tell you what I feel about you, what I think about you. I admire you. Yeah, I do. And you're sitting out there going, Peter, you don't know me. You don't know me. We never met. I know, but are you a human being? Mm-hmm. Check. Are you alive in this moment? Check. Yes, you are. Do you choose to continue being alive? Yes. Then I admire the heck out of you. Because how the hell are we still doing this? How the hell are we still waking up and doing this? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Life is tough. And you're living it. All right? There's a ton of people not living life. Okay? We call those people dead people or not yet alive people, depending on your belief structure. But here you are. And yeah, you didn't have a say in the matter. You didn't have a choice in the matter, but you do now. You do now, and here you are. So I admire you. And I want you to admire yourself a little bit. Okay, it's hard to be a human being. It's way easier to be other things on this planet. Being a human being is like one of the hardest things, okay? You know what? I was watching the Nature Channel and I saw this lion chasing after this gazelle, and this gazelle looked graceful and beautiful out in the wild. But whenever it's being chased by the lion, it looked like it was having a bad time. But even in its bad time, its gracefulness and its beauty was so apparent that I wished that I was that gazelle being chased by that lion, because it seemed to be far better experience than what I was going through at the time. You know, that deer's not worried about bills, and they're not worried about the people that they upset, and they're not worried about the opportunities that they miss. It's just eating and crapping and bucking in the wild, and every now and again it's got to run away from a predator, and one of these days that predator is going to get it, but that's the only problem it's got to deal with. Sometimes Bad Guru starts coming out. The things that I was imagining to say, I got to get to stand-up comedy. What I wanted to tell you is that I admire you. And I really do. I admire all human beings. I think it takes some type of to continue being alive as a human being, especially these days. It's tough. It's hard. I know. That was rude. It's hard. I know. Some people have it easy, but even the people who have it easy, you don't really have it easy, man. Because inside emotional, like, money and opportunity and all that doesn't make that thing inside easier, right? It makes your circumstances easier, but inside, who am I? What's my purpose in life? Do other people like me? What's my value? Like, that's there, like, regardless. I bet Elon Musk is just like, I hope I'm a good person. Maybe not Elon. He's doing great work. I admire you, and I'm very grateful that you're alive, and I want you to continue doing that, please. This is a time of year where some people can kind of lose hope. You know, we're transitioning into a new year soon, but don't lose hope. Don't give up. Continue being alive, because life, though hard it is 100%. I know you might get confused, but it's 100% worth living. Plus, there's people out there, those of you who are doing well and enjoying life, I admire you too, because when I see people having a great time, it just reminds me, oh yes, life is good. And I bet for those people it wasn't always good, and right now it is. So if you're having a great time, if you're enjoying yourself, if life is good for you, I admire you too. It's not just people who are going through hard times, people going through great times, because all of us are subject to what comes next. We're going to need all hands on deck, all the people in the world to deal with the year to come. Whether it's a year where the pandemic is still ongoing, or whether it's a year where we're picking up the pieces that fell in 2020. All hands on deck. So thank you for being in this with me. Thank you for being an alive person with me. And thank you for giving me some hope. Do you try to treat people with respect? Do you care enough about your environment to do even small things in order to help other people out, help your culture out, help your city out? Does it matter to you when other people get hurt or are suffering? That's admirable qualities. That's good. It's a good thing. Not everybody's like that. Some people don't give a crap about other people, don't think about them, don't care nothing. But you do. Do you care enough to improve your life and to better yourself? Do you care enough to make your life better and to make those you care about their lives better as well? Do you love or want to love? You're a good person. You're a good person. You're a good person. Look, there's no such thing as a good person. All right? But whatever you think a good person is, you are that. You are. Sure, you've made some mistakes. We all have. Right? You made some mistakes. But what you do next, that matters far more than what you did. All right. I admire you. Thank you for being alive. Let's get to some comedy. Should we put some music on? Let's see if we can get some music. Here we are. Oh man, that should have been a way smoother transition. Focus, focus. There we go. That should have been a way better transition, huh? My God, I'm gonna have to get better at this. Can you imagine what the show is gonna look like a month from now, 2 months from now, 6 months from now? It's gonna be fantastic. Who else is doing a show like this, huh? Talking, stand up, cool stuff happening. My God. My goodness. All right, so I can't really see your comments as well now, but I'll try to take a peek in there if you still want to chat. People still watching? People still watching me. Oh my goodness, I'm so happy. You know, the day I got a microphone and a stand in my own house was the day I thought, you know what? I found something. I found something that I love. I didn't know I'd love being a center of attention. I didn't know I loved talking to our microphone. It always seemed so intimidating, right? You're so afraid. And then the first day I stepped up on stage, I did some comedy. I was like, wow, I just found myself. It was beautiful. It was wonderful. I'm very happy. Thank you so much for being here. What do I look like? Am I cool? Is somebody going to call me and tell me to fix something? The audio working? Yes, I think we are good. Yes, we are good. I write my ideas and my thoughts down on here. Look, comedians, they work on jokes, they hone jokes, they got jokes that they work on, and they work on an act, and they do those same jokes over and over and over on stage. Me, on this thing, I've got to do new jokes every gosh damn time I'm online, all right? Because people, they've heard the old stuff before. So are these gems? No, and they won't be, okay? This is like open mic. We'll discover them together. You know, some of them are maybe jokes, some of them are just thoughts. But I just want to talk to you. You know, the reason Bad Guru exists is that in my former life, Peter Hartman, he tries to stay buttoned up, right? He tries to be professional. He tries to be appealing. He tries to be safe and say the right thing. But deep down inside, he's got more to him. So here I am, Bad Guru, and I'm here to make it a little easier, give him a little space, and I'm just going to say whatever I'm going to say, all right? All right? If you're wondering what's going to happen next, that's what's going to happen next. I'm going to say what I want to say, all right? All right. It's a weird world. It's a weird world. I'm not going to bore you too much with politics. I pay attention to politics on, especially U.S. politics. But there's one thing that I don't know why people don't like. Just not the most obvious thing in the world. Okay, politicians, the government, and all kinds of people, they use fear in order to control you, right? It's fear. It's fear is the tool that they use to manipulate you. I just don't understand why so many people seem to sort of forget that. So the government might come out and say something and cause you to fear, and your instinct, some people's instinct is not to say, oh, I should doubt that, even though it is fearful, I'm not going to let it control me. No, people go, yes, be afraid, fear, yes, fear. It's a weird thing. Sometimes people ask me, who's they? Who's using fear? Who's they? I say fear is how they control you. Well, who's they? The powers that be. I don't know. I don't know the powers that be. I think if you're real powers that be, I think if you're really the powers that be, the tip top, then nobody knows your name. Nobody knows who you are, right? The person behind the person behind the person behind the scenes, right? You're the Wizard of Oz, right? You're behind that curtain. Nobody knows what you look like. I mean, how can you be a powers that be if you could be targeted? Right? If you can be targeted, if you can be found, then somebody else is going to take that power. But if nobody knows who you are. So when I say they, I mean the powers that be. I don't know. People say it's the Illuminati. I don't know. These days I'm beginning to think it's aliens. There's not a day that goes by now where I don't hear some news about aliens. It's disturbing. Can you imagine if aliens are the ones that are controlling us? Don't talk about aliens. Don't talk about aliens. Fear is how they control you, and fear is how they win. You see, they want to divide us. Do you feel like you're being divided from people? There's people on one side of an argument and you're on the other side of the argument. And when I was growing up, it was like, hey, let's listen to both sides. And now it's like, kill the other side. kill them before they kill us. Right? If we let fear take hold of our hearts and minds, we're going to act in ways that are not going to help. I feel like I'm saying something that everybody knows, this. I mean, I think I saw this in Harry Potter the other night, right? Fear, or was it Star Wars, right? Fear is the path to the dark side. I don't know, something. But everybody seems way, way willing to be afraid. Look, I think there are things to be afraid of course. But then once you get afraid, then you calm yourself down, and then you move to a rational thought. And you think, what is the most reasonable, most logical thing for me to do next? Right? Am I saying things that you guys don't know? Fear is how they win. Fear is how they win. They create an enemy, right? They create an enemy for you to be afraid of. And then they say, in order to defeat that enemy, in order to defeat that thing, you have got to do these sets of things. And so if you accept the premise that I shouldn't be afraid, and you accept the premise that you don't know what to do, that they know what to do, and then they tell you what to do, you got no choice but to do what they say. Right? I'm thinking about 2021. And I'm thinking that in 2020, even I found myself susceptible to fear and hate, right? I found myself looking at groups of people and going, oh my God, they're going to destroy my life, destroy my way of life. I can't allow this to be. I found myself being swept up in the passion of team fighting, of being on one side versus the other side. I found myself doing this, and I could see it happening in real time, but in my mind I kept thinking, no, you have to stop them. This can't be, right? And I don't know what side of the world you fall on. I don't know if you're like a Black Lives Matter person or not a Black Lives Matter person. I was going to say white supremacist, but how many of those are there? Maybe on the side of climate change, people who are polluting are evil, and then the other side, you're like, no, we're the good people. Look, I don't want to start listing out the enemies. I don't know what side of the world you fall on, but in 2021, we're going to have to live with our enemies. Right? We're still going to have to live with When I was younger, around 14 years old, I have a twin brother. My twin brother's his name is Tom. And at one point, I was in love with this girl. When I was in love with this girl, she went to church with me. We were church buddies. I was in love with this girl. I was dating this girl. And then that girl left me for my brother Tom. Left me for my twin brother Tom. I'm just going to let that sink in for a second. I'm dating this girl, 14 years old, and she dumps me for my twin brother, Tom. Now, look, my brother and I these days were pretty different, but back then we weren't that different. And what the hell is she leaving me and going to him for? I mean, what the hell? I was so mad at Tom for stealing my girlfriend. I mean, how could he take her? How the hell could he take her? It's one thing if she's interested in him, okay? Women can be fickle sometimes. That my brother took her. And he seemed happy to do it. And I was so mad. It was probably the maddest I've ever been toward my brother. I don't think I've ever been mad at him. I don't even remember a time where I was actually mad at him besides that time. It was like nighttime. I was standing across the street from church. I think it was after service or something. This is a church girl who dumped me for my brother. And I'm standing on the other side of the street, looking at the church, looking at my ex-girlfriend walking away towards my brother on the other side of the street. And it's dark out, nighttime, it's late, and I am just crying. But I'm crying and hating at the same time. You know that sadness where you got sad and hate and you're like, oh, I want to kill him. I want to kill him. Right? They're like, oh, I'm so sad. I'm going to kill the guy. I'm going to kill him. God, I was sad, angry, and sad hate. And the worst part of it, the worst part of it, the worst part of your twin brother stealing your girlfriend is that you go home and he's there. Right? It's not some other dude in the neighborhood who stole my girlfriend. It's not some other guy from another school. I gotta go home to see this freaking jerk face. I gotta go home where Tom lives. In fact, I think at the time, we might have had bunk beds. I don't know. 14? Can't remember. But I had to go home with the ass wipe. Yeah, I said it. I said it. What are you going to do? Censor me. I can't be censored. He's an ass wipe. My enemy, he became that day. My enemy, he became that day. And I realized that day, sometimes you got to live with your enemies. Sometimes you got to live with your enemies. Sometimes you can't get rid of the people you hate. The people in this world you think should be dead, but have no ability to kill them without going to prison. You're just going to have to live with them. And I see a lot of people these days just like screaming on the news and in the streets and on videos online, and they want the other side to be dead. Make him dead. Make him dead. And then the other side is like, make him dead. Make them dead. They should be the dead ones. Right? Enemies. In the same country. In the same cities. Look, I went to school in the United States. I went to school for a little while in the United States. I was a little kid. And I remember going to school. It was one of my earliest memories. I went to school, a public school in New York. And every morning, kids, I don't know how old I was, 5? 4 or 5 maybe? I don't know. I have no idea how old I was. Around then. And we get into class, and every morning, it's weird, every morning, we don't do that here in Canada. Every morning, we pledge allegiance to the flag. We pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic on which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Pledge allegiance, right? I know everybody in America, they're pledging allegiance to the flag. Well, what the hell does that mean? What does it mean to have a flag, a creed, a country, if y'all just see each other as enemies? It's the same everywhere. You don't have to have a pledge of allegiance. You're a Canadian, so you're going to hate the mother. I almost swore. You're going to hate those ass wipes. You're just going to hate them and think they're evil. They're your country people. We're all in this together. In 2021, we're going to have to live with our enemies. There's people out there who are so paranoid about COVID, you know? I'm walking on the streets and they're like, around me, and they're like looking at you, making you know, oh my God, why aren't you wearing a mask outside? Don't you know there's a pandemic? You're killing old people, right? You've seen those people. I'm not saying the people who take it seriously. I'm being the people who take it real seriously, you know? They got gloves on top of their gloves. You got a mask on front of their face, mask on the back of their head. You know what I'm talking about? The people who are like, right now they're eyeing on Craigslist, they're eyeing that used astronaut's suit, you know? They're like, oh, that bubble, I feel so safe in that thing. Could I buy some cheese? Just at the grocery store wearing that astronaut outfit. There's people out there, they're about this far away from pulling the gun on eBay and buying that hazmat suit. These people take it seriously. And they want to kill everybody who doesn't take it seriously because you're killing grandma and grandpa. You're evil. You're an evil person. You want to get back to work? You want to back to work? Do you want to kill old people? Right? There are people who take this pandemic so seriously. They never leave their house. They're duct taping their windows, and they can't even understand how people can be out there. And then there's other people who could give a freaking flying F word. They're like, F COVID. Just F it. It's a conspiracy. Bill Gates did it. Like, there's people out there, woo, a little nuts. Okay? Look, is there some evidence to suggest that COVID-19 was spawned in a laboratory in China? All I know is what people tell me, all right? I can't investigate this thing. I don't know. But it's certainly not a non-issue. And then there's people out there, like, they look at the other people and go, you want to lock us down? What about my liberty? What about my freedom? You're destroying my freedom. You're destroying the country. Live free or die, right? Let all the grandmas die. You're like, whoa. And you got two sides. And each side wants the other one to just, is there a way? Is there a button? Is there a machine that could make you fall off the earth? You and all of your kind just fall off the earth, please. It wouldn't be a bad thing if I just woke up one morning and I just saw you friggin' a-holes just floating up into space. I just wouldn't cry a tear. Just millions of you terrible people just float up into space and just die above my head. I'd love to see that. Is there a button? Is there a machine? There's a lot of people who want the other side dead. Are you a Republican? Are you a Republican? Who'd you vote for? Did you vote for Trump? He's a Trump voter. I thought you were a good person. I didn't know you ate babies. If you say you're a supporter of Trump, that's what people think. I didn't know you ate babies. You eat babies? Trump? Right? There are people you tell them, there's other people you tell them, oh, I'm for Black Lives Matter. They're like, you're a horrible person. What? What did I say? Don't you know that all lives matter? How could you just say that some lives matter, right? How can you just say some lives matter? You're implying that all lives don't matter, man. You're evil. You're an evil person. You're a fascist. You want to use the power of government to destroy us. Kill them all before they kill us. Kill them. There's so much hate going on. There's so much hate going on, right? Like, there are some things that I don't even know how to say because I don't know if people are going to get hate or offended. It's just like, I gotta watch my tongue all the time. I'm walking over manhole covers going, oh, not a manhole cover. It's a personal hole cover. Don't want to offend anybody, or I might fall into the category of kill him. Make him fall off the earth. Fall off the earth. Just fall off of it. Just be here and then just fall off. Just be up there. Yeah. There's less air up there. My problems would go away if you would just float it up into the sky. Could you leave, please? There's a lot of hate, a lot of division. But in 2021, we're gonna have to live with those folks still. Look, I don't know how long we're gonna. Do I really have to? Haven't we seen enough movies? War does not solve the problem. You cannot destroy your enemies. They just become something else. Or they become stronger. You can't defeat them that way. Look, fear is how they win. They want to divide us. But we got to live with our enemies, and we got to accept that. And Tom, he stole my freaking girlfriend. And I hate him, but I still had to live with him. I don't hate him now. Do you know what? I am so happy I didn't kill my brother when he stole my girlfriend. I had every right to. Look, I had every right to, all right? What kind of a man steals another man's woman, all right? I had every right to, but I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I didn't. We got to live with him. We still got to live with him. We got to live with racists. We got to live with fascists. We got to live with the rich. Eat the rich! We got to live with the rich people still. You mean in 2021? Still in 2021, we still have billionaires? Is that even possible? Why is that? That is horrible. That is evil. I don't know if it's evil. I don't know if it's horrible. We're about to get our first trillionaire not too long from now. I don't know if it's horrible. I don't know if it's terrible. I mean, how much is $1 billion really when you account for inflation? Why does a milkshake cost more than a nickel? But there's always going to be rich people, right? At least for the foreseeable future. Eat the rich! Kill them! It's tough. There's a lot of people to hate, and there's a lot of good reasons to hate. And I'm not going to stand here and say there's not a reason to hate people. But that's not the way you defeat your enemies. You defeat your enemies by converting them. It's the best way. It's the best way. You have to find a way to convert your enemies. Convert them to your side. I was listening to The Art of War, right? I listened to this book on tape. Why am I calling it a book on tape? You're such an old man, Peter. An audiobook. I was listening to an audiobook. An audiobook sounds so much cooler than a book on tape. A book on tape sounds like you're an idiot. An audiobook sounds like you have so much to do, you don't even have time to read, but you'll squeeze it in there. Audiobook. You can read a book on the toilet. You can do that with a regular book, Peter. Yes, I know. But now I can be on my phone playing a game and listening to an audiobook. I was listening to The Art of War. And one of the tactics in The Art of War, one of the best things you can do, as far as I remember, if I remember correctly, is find some way of converting the spies that are in your camp, right? The enemy will send spies into your camp and you'll send spies into your enemy's camp. And the best thing you can do when you find a spy in your camp is to befriend them, to make them on your side, right? It's a huge advantage. Because converting your enemy makes their strength your strength, right? If you can convert them. And it's difficult. It's more difficult to convert your enemy than it is to shoot him in the freaking face, right? You shoot him, a toddler can shoot a mother trucker in his mother trucking face, right? A toddler. Hey, what's this? Bam! Right in his face, okay? But to convert somebody, that takes a lot more energy, right? You ever have a 2-year-old try to convert you into something, but could I have a chocolate? Like, no, buddy, no chocolate now. Okay, it's too late. Well, how about this? How about you give me chocolate and I don't pee on the floor? You're like, you're making some good points here. Good points. Here's some chocolate. Thank you. Now we're both winners. You got chocolate, and I don't got pee on my floor. What I'm trying to say is converting your enemies. In order to convert your enemies, look, if you believe in your idea, if you believe that you're right, if you believe you're on the right side, there's a good reason for that. You think it's the most useful perspective to have. And if you can demonstrate how useful that perspective is to the other side, then they will abandon their own perspective and adopt yours. Because what people want more than their ideology, what they want more than their ideology is to be a better version of themselves, however they see themselves, with more money, more ability, more power, whatever it is. They want a better experience. And people will put away terrible ideas if their experience improves, and people will pick up bad ideas if their experience is not so good, right? If your life is crap, then you're going to find reasons to hate, reasons to fear, and your mindset is going to go down, and your IQ right down, and you're going to be in a worse shape. Bad ideas, they make you bad. Good ideas, they make you better. People want to be better. All right? Yeah, that might be tied to their bad ideas, but only until they can see the error of their ways. Only if they can see a better way forward. Once you see that better way forward, then suddenly you want to do something different. So you convert your enemies. And it's a harder job to do. But if you do it, it's far more long-lasting. Way more long-lasting. Right? Let's see who we got here. We got people watching? Yeah, we got people watching. I see. Right, cool. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate that. All right. If you convert your enemies, that's a far more lasting solution, a more lasting peace than destroying your enemies. If you go into a land and you kill all those people, you kill all the men, you take all the women and children, and you pillage the land and you destroy it, the survivors will fester and fester and fester, and they'll go to different places and they'll build themselves up, and then a year later, 5 years later, 10 years later, 100 years later, they're going to come and they're going to take your crap, and they're going to kill your men, and they're going to kill your women and your children. And the cycle continues. But if you can convert them to your side, then they become one of you become one of them, and then you become a greater people because of it. Right? I think it's in the art of war as well. When you defeat your enemy, you don't want to wipe out your enemy, because then you lose all that good stuff. What you want to do is just kill enough of them. Just defeat enough of them in a respectful way, in such a way that the survivors will want to be on your side. That way you become strong, because war weakens us. War weakens you. Doesn't matter if you do it well or not well, war will weaken you. But victory, success, will make you stronger. And the best victory is when the other side becomes your side as well. Converting your enemies. Does that make sense? To defeat your enemies, convert them. Now, how do you convert people? And that's the hard part, because people want to convert folks by force, right? They want to convert people by force. People want you to see the world the way they see it and agree with them, and they will accept that by any means necessary. I've had arguments with people in the past, and they say, you know what? You're just trying to be right. You just want me to say that you're right. And I think, are there people out there like that? Who just want they just want the other person to say that they're right. Are there people like that? Because how is that useful? Okay, you say that you're right, so you're parroting whatever I want you to parrot, but you don't really mean it. Right? You don't really mean it. You're parroting what I'm saying, but you don't really mean it. Why would I want that? Some people want to convert people by force, and they don't care if the person really wants it or really cares or really means it. They just want them to say and act and do what they say. How is that a meaningful change? Why is that what people want? They don't want gays to get married, and so we're going to make them do it. They don't want to bake gay people a cake, so we're going to make them do it. And so the owner's just there making a cake. This is violating my fundamental beliefs. And everybody's like, yeah, you freaking bigot, you make my freaking cake. And you're like, is that a win? We passed a law that forces people who don't want to make cake for gay people to make cake for gay people. Win! Win! Don't worry, because one day those people will be dead and their children will grow up in a world where everybody gets cake. All right. And what about the people who pass on their bad ideas to their children? Now they're living in a world with conflict where they're being forced to do things. Is that change lasting? I don't think so. This is why you have conversations like, we have gay marriage, and we're going to repeal gay marriage. And you're like, what? How do we go both directions? It's because it didn't really change. Right? You get a Democratic president who goes in and they sign executive orders and they make decisions and like, yay, peace on earth. Obama's about peace on earth. And then a conservative president comes in, a Republican, and then they do the exact opposite. And every 4 to 8 years in the United States, you just swing back and forth, just like left, right, left, right, left. And they're like, hey, why does it feel like the country is always marching in the direction of destruction? It's because your whole premise is based on war. Well, let's get the presidency. Let's get our people in and then we'll freaking ram it in. And then, oh my God, we lost. Now we're getting it rammed into us. Oh, we got to win again so we can fix the ramming they gave us again. And then twice as good. We're going to ram them so hard and then we're going to forget it. Then we'll have peace. Kill them all, then peace. Right? Oh my God. It just doesn't work. To convert people, you got to persuade. Okay. First of all, we got to accept 3 principles here, okay? We got to accept, in order to defeat our enemies, we got to accept 3 principles. 1, it's self-determination, all right? Any action that is not taken voluntary, it's not going to work. It's got to be voluntarily taken. The other person has to voluntarily want to do it, right? If somebody marries you, but they don't really want to marry you, you're like, well, at least I found a way to get them married today. It don't matter. They're going to find some way to leave later. It doesn't matter if you put a ring on it. It don't matter if you put a ring on it. Because if their heart's not in it, they're going to take the next opportunity out, right? If the people don't love you, you're going to get it, right? Self-determination. People have to feel like they've made their own choice. Look, you know when you go to like a department store or used car salesman or whatever and they sell you something, but the guy the person, they sell it to you, but they sell it to you in a way that makes you go, I really want this, right? Oh, you look really good in that. My God, you really stand out. Normally, I don't really like this vehicle, but on you, it looks really fantastic. You're really pulling this off. You're like, wow. Like, oh my God, that looks so good on you. Are you related to Idris Elba? I'm like, oh. Well, I mean, I don't know. We could be related. Who knows? Thanks. It's so nice. Yeah, I'll buy it. Yeah, I'll buy it. I'll buy 2. Yeah, because one could get worn, so I'll buy another. I'll buy 2. Idris Elba drives this car. You look really good. People will think you're Idris Elba if you drive this car. You're like, oh my God, I'm going to buy that car. If it feels like it's your choice, if it feels like it's your decision, then you're going to more likely to be sticking with it and be happy with the decision. If you feel like it's been forced upon you, you know. Self-determination is a principle you have to accept. Voluntary, right? The government gets its power by the consent of the governed. And if people are not consenting to what the government's doing, it doesn't matter if they have the power to do it, it's going to lead to war. So if you want to persuade people to your idea, they have to voluntarily want to believe. They have to voluntarily come to your point of view. You can't be like, we made them. So stupid. Second principle, persuasion, right? The way you get people to your side is to persuade them, not to harass them, cajole them, judge them, criticize them. You persuade them to your way of being. Persuasion is how you make it their choice, right? You're persuading them to do it. And the way you persuade them is by showing all the benefits, how much their life will improve if they adopt your perspective. Persuasion, right? When I do my motivational speaking, when I used to do my motivational speaking, I wouldn't beat people over the head with, you should do this and get off your butt and don't be a lazy loser, right? I wasn't like that. I decided instead it would be far better to persuade people to describe how their life would be better, what would be different in their life if they adopted these new ideas, if this new philosophy, this new way of thinking. I think it's way better. Persuasion. Look, if you can't persuade your enemy, if you can't persuade your opponent, the other person on the other side, it means either your way is not good, it's not persuadable, or you don't really understand how how best to expound upon your idea, how best to demonstrate your idea, right? And that's the work we should be doing. How best to demonstrate to people how good our ideas are. That's what we have to start doing. We have to put most of our energy in demonstrating great ideas, as opposed to denigrating people who can't recognize how great your idea is. All right? If they can't recognize it, then do more. Find a better way. right? Like science, they want other people to adopt their philosophy. The scientific perspective and the scientific method is really good. It's really good. And then if you just go against them at all, it's like, oh my God, they poo-poo you. The snobbery that's in the scientific community is freaking sickening, man. The disdain and the disgust in which they look at other people is absolutely horrible. If you don't believe in science, then I suppose you're just not smart enough. Dimitri, Agnes, come here real quick. This mongrel doesn't believe everything in science. Doesn't believe that science can answer everything. Oh, how clever, how cute. It's so wonderful to be amongst the common folk. And so then you got a bunch of people out there like, F science, man. F it in the friggin' A, right? They're like, science. What has it done for me lately? Boop, boop on my iPhone. Boop, 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 boop. GPS. Boop, 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 boop. Take my medicines. Persuading people. You persuade them by providing the best arguments and demonstrating your ideas in the best capacity. If that doesn't work, you just get better at persuasion. You know, when it comes to people, growing up, everything I was taught was like anti-war. I don't know how we did the shift to pro-war. It's like people don't even talk about war anymore. There's like all kinds of forever wars happening all around the world, and people are just fine with it. And you're like, oh, we got to go after the terrorists. We got to keep us safe. All right. I guess that's one way of going about it. But war, it should be the absolute last resort. The absolute last resort. I mean, absolute last resort, like you've exhausted everything. It'd be better, right? Can you imagine? I don't know how many trillions of dollars. Let's say it's $3 trillion that the Americans spent on war in the Middle East, okay? I don't know how much it is, okay? I'm just throwing a number, but I don't think it's less than $3 trillion. Can you imagine instead of going to war with these freaking people, 9/11 hits? This is terrible what I'm about to say, okay? And we probably shouldn't do this, but, it's a thought experiment, thought exercise. If they just went to the people and go, look, all right, you want to kill us? We get it. Estimates, high estimates, $3 trillion is going to cost us to kick your freaking asses. It's going to take $3 trillion. It's going to take 10 years plus. How about we just give you $2 trillion and you just freaking leave us alone? Just leave us alone. Go bomb some other buildings, all right? We'll give you $2 trillion and like a few Teslas. Teslas weren't around back then. We'll give you like a bunch of iPhones and $2 trillion and like iPads and stuff, and you just stop killing us, all right? We're gonna leave you alone. We'll give you $2 trillion and you just take care of your own business, all right? We just want to do our own thing. Just leave us alone. We leave you alone. Your $2 trillion, go away. Is there a war in the Middle East? I don't know. Does it cost thousands of American lives? I don't know. Okay, that's a terrible idea, okay? I know that, all right? I know that. I know you don't have to comment that. Is anybody commenting? Nobody's commenting. That's okay. Are people leaving the room? Well, it's pretty late. I'm going to blame it on the time and not the topic. I don't care, all right? Self-determination, that's the first principle. People have to voluntarily choose to adopt whatever they want to do, or else it's not going to stick, okay? They're going to find some way in secret to do it. Prohibition, wink, wink. Legalize it, right? They're going to find some way to do it. It's got to be voluntary. You got to persuade people to your side of thinking. If you haven't persuaded them, you got to just do better at persuading them. And the third is experience. And here's the thing. People are going to have to... Experience is the only thing that teaches, right? Your words might light a fire in someone's heart to go out there and to have an experience, but experience is the only thing that teaches, right? The only thing that teaches. And what's good about experience is that it's experimentation, right? It's experimentation that you're having in your experience. And sometimes experiments, in science, when they do an experiment and it goes the way they expect, oh, good. If they do an experiment and it doesn't go the way they expect, they go, oh, good. Because science is not about what the outcome is. Science is just about the experience, the experiment itself, the information that you get. So we let people out there and you go have experience. So there's racists that are going to be walking around out in the world and they're going to have experiences that are filtered through the lens of a racist. And I argue, and maybe you're arguing, that their experience as a philosophy of racism is going to be worse than if they didn't have that, right? If they're more inclusive, if they're more respectful of all races, let's say. So you're having a non-racist time. You're going out there, and a bunch of us going out there and having one experience, and there's racists out there having another experience. And the argument is their experience not so great. If you got a town, if you got a city, you got a state, you got an area of people, and there's no diversity, there's no black people, let's say, there's no Asians, there's no Latinos. The argument is your area is going to be less good than an area that has all this stuff, right? How's your food? You guys got good food where you are? You might want to get a few black people in there. Some Caribbean food, right? Get some Asian, get some sushi, right? You get some tacos, get some fajitas, right? Right? Quesadilla, burrito, right? Flavor it up a bit, all right? Your boiled rat might not be tasting very good right now. I don't know what white cuisine is. Burgers, hamburgers? Yeah, hamburgers. French fries, right? Non-racist people having one experience, racist people having another experience. And then over time, people go, hey, I tried a burrito at Amanda's house. She learned it when she went on a trip to Mexico. She says Mexico now. And the burrito tasted so good. We should have more Mexican places here, Let's, maybe those Latinos are not so bad, Okay, I'm simplifying racism, I know. It's late. It's late. I'll admit it to you. Look, I don't want to keep everybody, so I'm gonna have to get going. But self-determination, persuasion, and experience. Those are required for people to sort of change their own mind and for it to stick. And I think it's way better than just killing the other side. I feel like the slogan, especially for 2020, was, and even before, I shouldn't just say 2020, even before, since Trump got elected, honestly. The slogan for the world has been, hate now, love later. Hate now, love later, right? Trump gets elected and the spirit of hate, the spirit of conflict, this climate of hate just takes over the nation and people just really lean into it. The news, they start making cash hand over fist by hating on that orange guy. Just hate on that orange guy. They just hate on him and make millions and millions and millions more money. God dang, did they make a lot of money. Every time we watch those news shows, those anchors, MSNBC, CNN, or Fox, whatever, whoever, talking about the president, my God, they make a ton of money. During the primary, when Donald Trump was running for election, Bernie Sanders was running too, filling up stadiums. And there were times where you're watching the news, tons of times where you're watching news where Bernie Sanders is having a rally with just tens of thousands of people cheering his name. Oh my God, and they're showing an empty podium, Trump's empty podium on screen instead of showing that, because that empty podium saying Trump is about to speak gave them way more ratings and way more money than a positive message, right? So the slogan began, hate now, love later. Hate now, love later. Hate now, love later. You gotta hate those mother effers right now because they're gonna kill us before we gotta kill them before they kill us. Hate now, love later. Fully justified, righteous indignation. Spoiler alert, it won't work. Doesn't work. Hate now, love later does not work. If we can just deal with all the problem people right now and get rid of them, then everything is going to be fine. Oh, really? Well, happy birthday, because you must have been born today. Welcome to Earth. It don't work like that here. It don't work that way here. Hate now, love later. It won't work. Gotta find some way to, acquiesce, be a little bit more catering to people. I don't know. It's hard to do that for people who are strangers you don't like. It's easier to do that for people you care about. I used to do this thing with my girlfriend, trying to find some way of, I wanted her to listen to me. I wanted her to accept what I was saying. I wanted her to feel a little less, antagonistic towards me, right? This is how it is with arguments with all kinds of people. It's not special to this person. And, because we're having such a fantastic time. And then just sometimes, you have an argument and it feels like, okay, this other person's not hearing me, right? So I came up with this thing to do. Because, it's not that I want to be, it's not that I do want to be right all the time, right? But I want to be actually right. Like, I want to be actually right. So I paid a lot of attention to being right. And so I rarely argue when I'm wrong. Rarely, 99.9% of the time, if I'm arguing, I'm pretty sure I'm right. Otherwise, I just say, I don't know, I'm not sure, gotta look it up. If I'm arguing, it's because I'm pretty sure I'm right. And usually I am. Not all the time, but usually. 99.9. But you can't talk to people and just be right all the time. They're going to think you're an asshat. They're going to think you're an asshat. I don't know what that means. I've heard it before, an asshat. They're going to think you're an asshat if you're just right all the time, even if you're all right. People are not going to like it because people like to, they themselves, be right sometimes. And one of the ways you win in a game when you're playing with a game with someone is that sometimes they're going to have to win. Sometimes they're going to have to win. If they never win, they're going to hate playing with you, right? They're going to hate the conflict, the competition that you're experiencing. And so I started every once in a while, I'd, pick a fight with my girlfriend, just pick a random fight. A fight, and I would take the position where I was clearly wrong on it. And then she would call me out on it. Oh, that's not true. And then I'll be like, oh, and I'll push back. Oh, no, and argue for a little bit. And then I'd go, you know what? You're right. You're right, and I'm wrong. Really, you're right. I admit it. She'd go, oh my God. He can admit when he's wrong. Oh my God, such a great guy. He admits when he's wrong. That's fun. I could trust him. Worked like a charm. If you never let the other side get a win, they're never going to trust you. If you never admit that you're wrong or say that you're wrong or in some way sort of acquiesce to the other person, they're not going to want to play the game of life with you, and they're going to come at you real hard. And they themselves won't admit when they're wrong. When you admit you're wrong, just find some way to admit where somehow you might be wrong. Something that's true, right? Something that's true. And you do that to the other side. The other side's going to go, you know what? At least they call themselves out. At least they say when they're wrong. They play fair. You can trust them. All right. I think I mixed up the order with this. So what I really want to... Okay, so hate now, love later. It won't work. And there's a better way forward. Here in Quebec, Montreal, we say ça va bien aller. When it comes to this pandemic, we say ça va bien aller. It's going to be okay. And I want to tell you that despite the climate of hate that we've been experiencing, I do believe that it's going to be okay. It's my hope in my heart that's going to be okay. And I want you to believe that as well. Here's the thing. There's trouble in the world. There's trouble in our society. There's things that need to be resolved, whether you're thinking about climate change, the existential threat of climate change, whether you think it's the political fascists, whether you think it's racism taking a hold and white supremacists or whatever you think it is, I want you to believe that it's going to be okay one way or the other. Because fear and hate is going to cause you to think and be in a different way, and it's going to bring out the worst in you, and that's not good. But hope and optimism, that brings out the best of us. There's this presidential candidate who was running for president. His name was Andrew Yang. Have you ever heard of Andrew Yang? Have you ever heard of his name? Why? Why the hell don't you know Andrew Yang's name? Successful entrepreneur and philanthropist, runs for president, gets a huge amount of support online and with young people. So excited about him introducing the concept of UBI, Universal Basic Income, to the American zeitgeist, the lexicon, to the political landscape, I should say. Revolutionary character, very sane-minded, very clear-minded. And he talked about it. It was really refreshing to hear how he talked about when people are suffering and in despair and living paycheck to paycheck, they're unhappy and they're sad, they lose IQ points. They become dumber. And they have far less bandwidth to put on to other things like climate change and dealing with larger problems or other people's crap. They don't got time for it. No patience for it. And they're dumber. So I don't want you to hate. I don't want you to be in fear, even if fear might be a logical choice, because it's going to handicap you. Hope is always the most logical choice. That's what I believe. I believe that hope is always the most logical choice. It's a choice that puts your mind, your heart and mind, and your spirit in a state of being where the solutions are more apparent. And it puts you in a state where you're far more persuasive. Hope for this future. We're living in such a world where, depending on the lens you put on, you can look out into the world and whatever you're seeing is definitely true. There are things to be afraid of. There are things that are out to get you. I turn on the news and, there's a new strain of the coronavirus in the UK. It's 70% more contagious. Oh, thank you, Santa, for bringing that little gift this holiday season, right? And I have to fight the fear myself. I have to close my mind off to the fear and just recognize that it won't help me. I know there's things to be concerned about. I am aware of them, and now it's time to deal with them. Now it's time to find solutions. And I'm not going to allow hate and fear to take over my mind and my heart and my spirit. I'm asking you to adopt hope, because hope is the logical choice. Hope is needed most in those moments of doubt. It's when things are darkest that you need hope. People go, oh, I can hope, but only if I can see that there could be a way. Well, then that's not hope. That's knowing. Hope is when you can't see a way. Hope is when it feels the darkest. Hope is what you need absolutely when you're in that hole. So look to 2021 and adopt the spirit of hope as best as you can. Even a tiny amount of hope will make you feel a lot better and will make you think more clearly. And it might very well make you decide to go over to youtube.com/happyforachange and facebook.com/happyforachange and clicking subscribe and hitting that little bell so that you know when I go live. Because god dang it, I hope I get to talk to you more and more, because I got solutions, baby. We got things to do, baby. I'm not just saying there's solutions. I'm about to show you some solutions. Black money matters. Making millionaire principle. My God, I'm so excited. So hang in there. We're going to make it through this. Don't worry about it. On a side note, my God, I miss my friends. I miss my goddamn friends. I miss them to death. I miss being around people so badly. I can't even imagine. I cannot believe it. I spent most of my life just loving being alone. And now I feel like I think about my friends every day that goes by. I can list them by name. It's just like, oh my God, what are they doing? What's going on with them? And all my time is taken up right now with transitioning over to doing things online and figuring out this whole new world and how I'm going to work. But my God, I miss you guys so much. I miss talking to you. We used to come here, used to be here for hours and hours and hours and hours. It's the best. I miss my goddamn friends. Please know that. COVID, if you can hear me, could you please just fall off the earth? Could you please just be here and then just be up there and then go to space and die? Could you leave Earth, please? Our alien overlords, if you can hear me, could you please just cut the crap out. Because you're really fucking up my shui, all right? My shui is so less shui these days. But I'm going to find a way to hope. And I'm going to encourage my fellow man to hope. My fellow people to hope. Because I admire you. I admire all you folks. Another day, another moment, another minute. Here we are. I want to thank you so much for giving me your time. I really appreciate it. I didn't know exactly how this was going to go, but it went, and it's going to go again. If you like what I have to offer, please subscribe and hit that little bell so that you know when I go live, and tell somebody else about it, because I think other people need some uplifting content too. That's it for me, folks. Elvira, Joanne, everybody commented, everybody who watched and participated. This has been so much fun. I've been looking forward to this since the last time I did a stream, right? Since the last time I did a stream. So very, very happy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Mwah, mwah, mwah. I miss you so much. I think that's it for me. And I'll be seeing you folks very soon.